unmute. You know what I mean? So we don't have interference. All right, great. Okay. Please remind me how much time we have together, and big hugs to everyone. Just 1 hour. I mean, 40 minutes now, 45 or 1 hour. It's recorded, so some people will be replaying it. How are you feeling so far? How is everybody doing with this dry fast so far? Is everybody okay? Are we having bad moods? Is there something that is a bit nagging in your field? How is it playing out for you so far?
Not yet.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. The topic of today is how to be blissfully happy when fasting. So I'm happy that you're already there in some way, and we'll just take you through a few things from the holistic perspective, from the scientific perspective, and what you can do to be even happier. So I thank everybody in the team of Pranic family for having organized this and for having invited me. I've been on this field of Pranic living for, I don't even know how, since 2009 that I remember researching about it, but even since I was a kid I was interested in it, so it was a much longer journey, I would say, and I naturally felt that it is possible. I am interested to know how many of you feel interested in the pranic nourishment thing, and how many of you are just fasting for other reasons like detox or weight loss or whatever other reasons, but it's something temporary. You can type yes in the comments if you want to reply. I'm so happy to also see everybody, Rakichari, Naida, and I hope to see you at the Pranic Festival in Romania for us to all play together here, like make a big car and get everybody to Romania. We will have a Pranic Festival here in person in August 15 to 19, so many speakers from all over the world will share their experience, and some of us will be present in person, and you can play with us for 4 days in the mountains of Romania in a beautiful setting. So it's gonna be fun. So I see some people having typed something in the chat. Let me check it. I want to be fully pranic. I'm interested. Good. So one thing that is essential for being in a pranic journey and getting into a lighter state and a lighter way of consciousness, because to me it's all about consciousness, is not to be attached to it. I mean, if you want to be a breatharian and you struggle to be a breatharian and you fast to be a breatharian, you'll pretty much miss the show because that's coming from a place of I'm not there yet, and that's creating unhappiness in your system, in your body, in your mind, and in your emotional field. Over the years, I've worked with many people who have been through pranic processes, either fasting or dry fasting, water fasting, juice fasting, or however they chose to do it, or the 21-day process, the 8-day process, 11-day process with various pranic teachers. And when they come back to physical nourishment, to food, not only do they binge on all the things that they wanted during the fasting, because the body hasn't been purified or the emotions haven't been purified, so there's a lot of binging there, but also they have the feeling of failure and guilt. Those are the main frequencies that bring the energy immediately down, like a plane, landing at a very fast speed, immediately after a process. So the first thing to be happy on this journey is not to want to be something in particular, and just be yourself. Another thing that we can pursue or look at is to have a balance in our emotional and mental field when we start on this path. Or if we don't have that balance, and if our life is still challenged a lot at the emotional level, or the thought patterns are really, really critical on ourselves or others, we can start learning to purify that, to work through that. And that's part of a very important step in the pranic journey and in the fasting journey as well. So detoxing at the mental and emotional level are essential before a process, during a process, and also after a process. It needs to become a lifestyle. So for all people who are just passing through this or breezing through this, it's a lifetime commitment to yourself, to be connected to your higher self and stay connected that way. So how many of you are interested in that? Because that's beyond being pranic or breatharian in terms of nourishment. That's a lifestyle and a consciousness thing, an attitude towards consciousness that is dictating from the moment you decide that you want to be in a higher state of consciousness, is dictating your whole life and your whole choices. And every time you want to binge or something, or do something that is harm for yourself, either a relationship or food or any choice, you won't be able to do it anymore, because you're so committed to your higher self that is actually, it will keep you from doing that. It will make no sense to you to do that. I will take some questions towards the end. So if a question pops out, just write it in the chat box, and then we'll go through them as we, or there's a Q&A section even. Yeah, you can use that. Just to be sure that you won't miss out on it, because as we speak, we go deeper into the alpha theta mode, and we'll still stabilize into theta at some point, because this is what we do with the speech. And you might forget what you wanted to ask. That's just something that I want to mention. It's not because the memory is not working well, but when we're changing the brain waves or the state of mind, and the mind is no longer so active, then the questions or anything, thought patterns, thought forms are just going away. A bit about myself, if somebody doesn't know anything of who I'm working as. I've been interested in this journey, like I said, since 2009. I've been researching and practicing the exercises for embodying more prana. I never aim to be breatharian. I don't fully support that term. I'd rather speak about being nourished by prana, because that's more accurate than being nourished by breath. And because breath doesn't nourish you, it just regulates your mind and your body rhythms, but it's prana that is nourishing you. So you're a pranic person if you're not eating. That's the right term, I would say. I met people who were nourished in that way. I had some workshops with Jasmine in Romania and some other people on that path, and it felt natural to me. It felt completely on spot. I didn't have any doubt that this is possible, and I didn't want to jump right into it either. It just felt like a reality that is there for me, has always been there for me. I felt that I did that before in other lifetimes, so I said, well, this is the natural way of being, and that's all. Over the years, though, as I practiced the methods of being lighter in my consciousness, like qigong and yoga and breath work and meditation and detox, a lot of detox as a physical level and mental level, I noticed myself eating less. That was a byproduct of my practice. That was not my goal. It just went with the flow as I ate, as I did my practice. So I always say to people, it's always necessary to have a daily practice and a lifestyle routine to be able to stabilize on this path. You can't go through a process or a fasting and then go back to the traditional but not necessarily normal way of being, because that will just put you off track immediately. And then the patterns of guilt and shame, and I haven't made it. they come into play and they lower your frequency. So just transform it into a lifestyle. And there are some steps that I always recommend. We always recommend, many of my colleagues, to be stabilized in this lifestyle. We speak about it and demonstrate it and work with those principles or ways of being during the Pranic process online, which is an 8-day training that we do online since 2013. And we put people through these steps and through a lighter diet and through juice feasting and wire feasting, so that they can get a glimpse or a taste of what it means to be in a pranic state and the practice that's necessary. So we practice with them every day, and most people lighten up their diet or end up being nourished by prana for a long time, if they maintain the lifestyle. If not, nobody's gonna make you pranic overnight. There's not a magic wand for it. No fasting can actually do it for you, and you need to do the work. That's the truth that I know. Sorry for being, blunt and very honest on this, but I don't have another experience than this one. I've heard and met yogis that, have been touched by the blessing of a goddess, and from then on they haven't eaten. And they didn't need any water either. I met personally Prahlad Jani, and if you want I can show you a video of us being together in India, in the Pranic Festival in India in 2020, where we had a beautiful sharing, and he was for real. He wasn't eating and drinking for 75 years. It's true, yeah, through the blessing of this goddess. But really, he has been in a devotional state before and after that event. So that devotional state, which is called Bhakti Yoga, doing constant rituals, being in constant contact and resonance with a force that is higher than yourself, that can keep you in that state as well, And he did have a practice. He wasn't just touched by a magic wand, and then he did have a practice after that event too. He was in the forest, in solitude, in meditation, living in a cave. So it wasn't a common mundane lifestyle and just that goddess having blessed on him. We have to mention that too, because nobody that I knew went into that state just through 3 days or 21 days of fasting. There was a background of even lifetimes of spiritual fun. I don't call it work because we like to keep it lighter. And I see some people in the field that are not happy about what I'm saying, because somebody was hoping that it will be just that, and then we will all be enlightened. And I think it's possible. We are in a realm of infinite possibilities, so we can keep on hoping on that too, but nothing should keep us from really being lighter and enjoying more in-depth activities. My camera is going wild. More in-depth activities where we can actually stay connected to ourselves. What makes you stay connected to yourself? That would be the next question. And anyone can answer in the comments. I would love to know about that. What makes you feel that you're really connected to yourself, and what gets you back in your center? Which are the activities, practices, or just maybe inner attitude that puts you back into that state? What are the things that work for you? Just to be a little acquainted with the group. And I will continue with my story because I was detracted a little bit. So I've heard of people that are nourished in this way. I met them in person. I met Jasmine. I worked with several other teachers, collaborated with them. I've seen that was possible, and then I really lived that state myself. I was in a dark room for 10 days with just juices or water, and no food and no light. and deep meditation and other practices. And after that dark room, where I wasn't hungry, I just was going deeper and deeper into my multidimensional aspects. After that, I couldn't eat for a long time. I didn't force myself not to eat or force myself to be a breatharian. I just didn't have the need for it. Or if I tried, out of the ancient programming that we have, I took a bite or two one day, and I had excruciating pains in my body, which meant that I wasn't supposed to do that. When your body is giving you signs that, have to do with pain or discomfort or contraction, it means you're not supposed to do that. You'd better drop it because you're hurting yourself. So for me, it was clear. I crawled on the floors in pain, literally, it's not a metaphor, and then I stopped eating for as long as it was necessary without even trying or attempting to chew anything again. For a long time, it was over 40 days. I don't remember, I never counted the days because I wasn't aiming, at a certain state. My focus was on meditation, Qigong, yoga. I was practicing for about 10 to 16 hours per day, so that was my focus. I wasn't interested in anything else, and that comforted me those days where I couldn't take food, and some days I couldn't even sip water. If I would sip water, I would have contractions in my throat and my body. After those days, I was certain that this is possible, even for me, not only for everyone else, because I lived it. And my diet got lighter naturally from that point on. I was already over 3 years, I was having over 3 years of intense detox and intense practice at that time. So it wasn't just at the beginning, it was over a period of intense detox that I did this dark room. I was already deep in commitment to my spiritual practice or energy practice. Those of you who aren't spiritual, you can call it quantum field relationship. You relate to the quantum field, and that's quantum physics. But it didn't come all of a sudden. It was the result of a build-up in my energy field. And then, as a result of continuing that practice, my diet continued to go lighter. I didn't go fully on prana after those days, after that month or longer time that I had. I didn't intend to stop eating. When I checked with my body and it was okay to take vegan food again, I was doing small amounts of vegan food or raw vegan food, and kept continuing with the juices because I saw that worked for me on the long term. And I continued with my practice. So with no intention of being nourished in that way, I kept building up that field until at some point I noticed myself now being much more comfortable with just water, tea, or light juices. And that's my way of being, my preferred way of being now. Without any imposition on my body or on my mind that I should keep going this way and I should put a label on my shoulder to make me more spiritual and to make me a better person because I'm not eating. That's not my way of being. I want to just clear that out from the field of whomever hopes that not eating will make you more of a divine being. No, you are already a divine being. You actually are. You just have to own it. And whichever way you need to manifest from now on, either eating or not eating, drinking or not drinking, being totally enlightened or being a mere human being with all the emotional experiences that you need to do, that's your path. And just keep doing the meditations, keep doing the work of Qigong or Tai Chi or yoga or any body movement that releases energy from your nadis, and keep doing the detox and keep doing all this fun work that we can do at home just to reconnect with ourselves, and you'll have a lighter way of being, which is reflecting naturally in your diet. It can't be another way. So since 2016, so the dark room was in 2013. Since 2016, I've been in conferences and workshops all over the world presenting what I've experienced. I've written 5 books. One of them is about the dark room. I can show it to you. It's somewhere around the house here. Somebody was asking me about it. So this is the book about the dark room. It's called Dark Room Retreat. And it describes all the processes and funny things that happened over there. There's another one on how to get lighter on your diet. Just things about the vegan food and raw food and going into juice fasting and detoxing on especially mental and emotional level if you still want to play with food after your fasting. And that's called Get Seduced by Your Own Life. And one of the important sources of information for the ones on the pranic path that I've been guided to write down. It's called the Pranic World Book, and I've written it for people to have access to the information that I've accumulated until 2018. So I'm speaking about the methods that my colleagues have used, because I had a long experience with working with several pranic breatharian teachers, collaborating with them, organizing festivals with them, organizing online summits with them, living together with them, being friends, close friends with the whole team of pranic teachers. So hearing and learning about their methods, I've put them in this book. I mean, the most prominent ones like Jasmuhin or Nassim Haramim or Nicholas's master Harry Montfort, you know, because each one had different ways on getting to the same result, and I wanted to present several perspectives. It has very little of my journey here. This is not a book about me. It's about the pranic family, basically. And it has also methods of detox at the emotional, mental, and physical level, you know, about the watermelon juice, aloe vera juice, the importance of water, and all that stuff. And it has too the science of the pranic path, what happens to the brain, how you can change your brain waves, and why this is important for the pranic nourishment. And I'm going to tell you that, for example, you can't be nourished by prana fully if your mind is still agitated. If you don't learn to still your mind and purify your mental field, it just interrupts the pranic flow, you know, the stream of thoughts, and especially the toxic thoughts are just cutting off on the pranic flow. It's just happening. You can't, all people that have been on this path have learned to master their minds. So we have noticed that most pranic people are keeping their mind in a constant alpha theta state, mostly theta. How many of you are knowing on brain waves? Yes, so mostly theta means you're almost like in a sleep state or deep meditative state, but you're awake and talking to other people like we do now. You learn to train your mind to stay in that state through constant meditation or other practices. That's the key to pranic nourishment. Why is it important? It's because when you're in the theta state, the brain produces more melatonin, like you do in your sleep. If you're also fasting, your gut system is producing 500% more melatonin than the brain, because you're giving it a break and it can do what it's meant to do, which is produce melatonin and give you intuition, the gut feelings. So that happens too. So you have extra melatonin coming from the gut brain. And then the melatonin regulates 3 important things. The hormones of hunger, leptin and ghrelin, are regulated by melatonin, and it also regulates the production of ATP, which means you produce more energy. ATP is the energy nourishing your cells, adenosine triphosphate. It produces more of that while you have more melatonin. So the more you still your mind, you know, to wrap it up, the more you still your mind, the more energy you have in your cells. That's why I'm insisting on meditation and spiritual practice, because it's not just about cutting off the food supply. It's about training your mind to be in a certain state, and then your emotions as well have to be in a certain frame of frequency, to be able to maintain that flow of energy in your body, because it's all about how the energy is flowing. And all of this you find in this book, also some NASA studies on calories that we actually use without taking any food. It has been noticed that we produce 25% more calories than we actually eat. A person in a normal diet with a normal state, it has 25% more energy that they couldn't identify. So they called it an unidentified source of energy. But what's more important, so all of this you find it in the book, the Pranic book, which is on Amazon, or you just write to me and I have someone deliver it to you. And the most important thing is to be at peace. I feel to say this for someone, to be at peace with where you are. When you're really accepting yourself the way you are, and this is not just philosophy, it's a deep state that ingrains in us while we notice that everything is as it should be. It takes some self-observation and some observation of the world to really acknowledge that, because we are trained since we are kids to feel that we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're not where it should be. So when you notice that everything is as it should be, and we are as we should be, and there's no should, because we just are. Actually, we cut the shouldology out of it, and we're just having fun with life. And we're enjoying, and we're playing, and we're having ups and downs, and that's normal. And we accept the downs as we enjoy the ups. And that's the pranic state. I say to people sometimes that before going breatharian, let's be flexitarians, which means being flexible about what's happening to us. For example, today I was totally like this, convinced that until 3 p.m. I have nothing to do than enjoy and take care of my festival and whatever. And when I look at my phone, I'm like, ooh, I'm online in half an hour. What should I do first? What's first? Wash my hair, do this, do that, prepare the cameras. But being flexible and saying yes to life as it comes and show up as you are. I haven't prepared myself today, I must admit. It was on total, short notice for me. Showing up to life as you are and trusting that you are okay. It should be okay for others too. If not, then that's it. Being in that state, it just regulates your frequency. And on the scale or Hawking's pyramid of frequencies, you can see, if you look it up, the Hawking's pyramid, you can see how your emotional and internal attitude are actually essential for the state, for your energy flow and the frequency you're in, basically. And it's all about frequency, and it's about matching your frequency with the divine frequency of prana that can then nourish your cells. There's a lot of philosophy and theory on this that we could elaborate on for like at least 3 hours. Sometimes my workshops are 3 hours long. They used to be in 2016. Now I'm more in the play mode. But I would love to see your questions, and I would also love to offer some breakfast or lunch, depending on your time zone, which is a pranic meditation. I think that would be the best for now, for the fact that you're already in a detox time, and I feel you might benefit from a bit of exercise together. So let's take the question first, because after that the mind might stop and you might not have questions. And let's take some questions first if you have any. And Fabi, if you want to tell me how much time I can play with. Yes.
I think we got maybe 20, 30 minutes.
We can have fun then. Okay. So let's...
started late, but yeah.
Thank you. I will bring one of my instruments with which I like to syntonize frequencies. It's like a handpan that I will use for the meditation. And in the meantime, just unmute yourselves if you have questions and let's talk about it. I'll come back in a sec. Yeah, one more thing that I feel to add, that I was guided to add right now. This is my instrument. I will show it to you in a second. It has a painting of compassion energy. One important thing, especially when you're water fasting, because now you're dry fasting, but then you're gonna use water, of course. Water fasting or any type of water consumption is regulating the frequencies in your body. Water is actually shaping your DNA, and that is the way your genes and everything is functioning in your physical body. So water seems to be really, really, really important. And most people, especially in European, but even Western countries, are using tap water, which for me, it's like an aggression for the body. I feel that it is like a complete disservice that we do to our bodies to drink tap water now or any time, because the installations for water that we usually have, especially in the cities, are poisoning our bodies, right? So I don't recommend having tap water, especially when you're fasting. Some people recommend distilled water while fasting. I haven't tried that, so I cannot subscribe to that. Some of you might know more than me on that. But I recommend pure water, as pure as you can get. If you don't have a source of pure water, like a stream or a stream, a spring, somewhere around your house or close to you, you can use something to purify the water that you get from maybe the supermarket. I prefer the water from the supermarket instead of the one from the tap, especially when I'm traveling and don't know where the tap water comes from. I know that the water in the supermarket has a lot of imprints and issues with it. That's why since 2016 I've been gifted this special thing. Galina El Sharas gave it to me as a gift every year when she came to our festivals. So it's a pranic water, or water that purifies. There are drops like this. It has a thing in it, and you can take drops with it. And you can put like half of this, in 5 liters of water, and it purifies and restructures and upgrades energetically and ionizes and detoxes the water that you're using. And then that water comes into your cells, and it does the same to your cells. It alkalinizes the body, it restructures the molecular structure of the water in your body. It makes your body lighter, or it makes your crystalline structure that you are, because your body is a crystal, it makes it at a higher frequency. So I've noticed my thoughts becoming more harmonious. I've noticed my body needing less toxic things. I was already working on that, but with this, it really took out of my system a lot of stuff that I wasn't needing anymore. And it makes the water so much drinkable, because there are certain brands of water all over the world that I can't really use. I buy it and then I take 2 sips and I notice my kidneys going, nah. I'm very sensitive to what I put in my body. So with this, it makes it super drinkable, super alkaline, super smooth. I can drink up to 5 liters of water when I'm working in energy sessions with people, because I'm doing healing sessions that have a lot of energy circulating through my body. And what moves the energy through my body is the water. So I can drink up to 3 or 5 liters when I'm doing a lot of energy circulation. And this helps me, because otherwise I just leave it there and don't feel to put it in my body. Now, the water is called imagine people. I am placing a link in the comments for you to access the website of the seller. I'm not selling it. It's just someone in Russia that now delivers it to me, because Galina couldn't come physically to the last two festivals, so I had to buy it and use it. I keep using it since 2016. It's not expensive in my view. One bottle is 40 euros and the other one is 80, or around that amount. And you use 2 bottles per year, in my experience, traveling all over the world. If you want to put a larger quantity and do a stronger detox, of course you'll use more. But for my rhythm now, 2 bottles per year have been enough, with half a pipe in 5 liters of water. And I've also received this one which has vitamin C. I received it as a gift from them when I order a larger package. And this has helped me, during these times of the flu. And also it helps me because vitamin C seems to regulate the hunger hormones as well. So for the people who are on the pranic path and still feel hunger, now I don't, but some people still do, vitamin C in whichever form, like using juice of pineapple and all the fruits that have vitamin C, it regulates your hunger hormones, and it actually you feel less hungry or not hungry at all if you use it more in your diet. And we strongly recommend it for, if you still have any issues with the flu that has been. So those things I felt to share with you. I placed a link on a scientific conference on the importance of water, held by Nassim Harmim and the doctor, which are some of my friends. And now I'm looking for the link to find that website with the water. In the meantime, ask questions if you want.
I think did you have a question? You unmuted yourself, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was waiting for her to finish talking. Hi, Christian. My name is Dee. So I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, the first question is, so you were talking about the dark room experience, and I've heard the same Jasmine talking about it in her videos.
Absolutely.
So, so you actually stop eating before going through that dark room experience, or did you started meditation, or
yes,
qigong and all those things before the dark room?
Yes,
fasting and everything?
Yes, like I said, I was having 3 years of practice before going to the practice and detox and meditation and all that stuff. So I started, when I was a kid, I meditated. I was meditating in a crystal. I was interested in numerology and all the holistic things by myself, not having any influence from family or anyone else, but I was just like that. And I was telling people that we're all energy, which was weird. At 17, I became vegetarian intuitively, which was again weird. Nobody in Romania knew about vegetarianism, or very few people. And I had that practice for several years in childhood and adolescence, which stabilized me on a certain frequency. Then for 10 years, I forgotten about it, and I became a corporate manager, posh woman stuff, accelerating on the success ladder of money and fame, which, was a journey. And I forgot everything about diet and everything and meditation and stuff. I became really unbalanced, and then I got back to meditation and light diet and all that stuff and a lot of detox when I was about 26, 27, about 13 years ago, I believe. And for 3 years, I went very deep into practice, meditation, detox, and qigong and healing methods, theta healing, Tibetan techniques, Chinese techniques, and so on. I worked with Mantek Chia, which is a qigong master. I worked with Jasmine and others. I practiced 10 to 16 hours a day because that was the only thing that I was interested in at that time, to get back to balance and to see what's next. And then I went into dark room. So before darkroom, I was doing like 2 days blindfold with no food, or I had an entire year in 2012, sorry. I had an entire year where I was doing this Oshava diet, which was 4 cereals, water, and salt. For the entire year, I would go each month into that diet. So it was crazy for my body, not recommending that to other people, but it was a necessary step for certain purification stages that I had to overdo, that's the term. And then I went into darkroom.
That's because, okay. So that's because you were so interested in, not because you were stopped having hunger. Right?
I wasn't so hungry at that time, I must admit. Being all that year on just 4 cereals and water, I didn't have so much attachment to taste, because really to eat buckwheat every day, it's not so tasty, or to eat rice with just salt, it's not such an enchantment for the taste buds. So I've trained my taste buds to drop the attachments that they had. I've trained my body to stay on a very light diet or nothing at all, because at a certain stage in that diet I wasn't interested in food anymore. I mean, nothing was tempting, and my body got in such high frequency that it wasn't requesting so much anymore in food intake. So I was already in that stage. Not that I was never interested in eating. I wasn't, what you call a breatharian now, but I was in a good place, I would say, in terms of hunger and the food and craving management, especially the craving management that everybody's dealing with. I placed the link for the water in the comments for the drops. Yeah.
So what made you remember? You forgot for 10 years, the business woman, 10 years.
Yeah.
You forgot about all the previous things, but then all of a sudden you started to practice 10 hours a day. What reminded you? What made you do?
It was simple. I was falling off my feet. Literally. In the middle of the day, being at my job, I was having I was managing 2 companies, a cafe and a big restaurant. I always worked with restaurants and food and events with food. Go figure. And I was having many employees and many stuff to deal with, and 3 phones that would ring all at the same time. And sometimes when I would get really agitated, I would just go out of my body and drop the body there and go out. That was the stage that I got to, really, and it was dramatic for the people around me. I was just conscious enough to say, I'll be back soon, don't worry, I will just recover in a few minutes. I was already used to it, but it wasn't something that I or the people around me were enjoying. So it happened a few times, 3 times maybe, that I would just leave my body in the middle of a conversation or anything, People call it fainting, but I was conscious, So I would go to the hospital, they would take tests, they would say, oh, you're too tired, you have to rest, maybe it's burnout, blah, blah, blah. I would go back home and get back to work in 3 days, even if I had 3 weeks of vacation from the doctor. So I noticed that nothing else does it. The medicine of, the allopathic medicine has no response for me, no answers. The family, friends couldn't help me in any way, shape or form, and they were worried. And I heard of someone that knew about energy and knew about meditation practice and reading the chakras and stuff a few months before that started to happen. So I was very interested in meeting that person and learning some, just getting back in touch with what I learned in my childhood. When I heard that somebody like this existed in Romania, I wanted to get back to that knowledge again. So I went to listen to a little bit of what he said to us. It was several of us. He read our fields and whatnot. And he spoke about the importance of diet and not smoking, not drinking coffee and stuff like this. So instantly when I get back home, I did that. I stopped smoking, stopped drinking coffee, which I was doing out of habit, not because I needed it. I never was depending on anything. I never took drugs. I never did anything mind altering that was going, through my mouth or nose, But still, I had some bad habits that I would pick up from time to time, and that went out of my system instantly as I remembered from that conversation that, you shouldn't really do that if you want to be okay energetically or even with your health. So then my body went through a deep purification where for several days I couldn't eat anything. So everything was going out if I tried, or even if I thought of food, not working at all. And after that purification time, I started learning more and researching more and doing meditation every day, starting to learn energy work and all that stuff. So it was spirit picking me up and, putting me back on track. That's what happened for me. Yes, I remember deeply about my necessity to go back to spirit. It was no other way for me. And from there, my life changed and I quit my company in a few years. I quit everything. I changed my life completely, and I kept doing, since 2013 or 12, kept doing what I do now, like writing books, having healing sessions, having conferences, and working with the planetary grid. I couldn't do anything else anymore. It wasn't my journey. Yes, so that's how I remember. In the meantime, until the next question comes, I put the events link of our website so that you can look at what I talked about, the Pranic Festival in Romania, which is in this page that I'm posting now, and also the Pranic process online that you can have for 8 days after you finish fasting, or even the next retreats that we have in August, which are all about light nourishment and getting to the next level. They're amazing events. Most of the speakers at the Pranic Festival come with us, and we just have fun, amazing fun as a Pranic family, and we invite you to be here, actually. Yeah, so you might want to save those links, because after this chat ends, I think they all disappear.
No, I have it. Yeah, I have it saved. It's saved already.
Okay. I know that when Zoom ends, everything is gone. Now, are there more questions? Do we talk about anything else, or what should we do? Go in meditation?
Let's finish. Yeah, let's finish with the meditation.
Also, for the skeptical ones.
Well, there's no skeptics in this group. I'm kidding.
However, if any, I want to tell, or if you want to back it up with science, because I trust that some of you have very scientific minds, and I love that. We have created a group of scientists that I'm enjoying playing with a lot. There are doctors, geneticists, physicists, DNA specialists, and what else? Quantum physicists like Nassim Haramein and others who are researching now on this topic. And we have a group where we share information, we share everything that has been issued in the scientific communities or peer-reviewed papers or anything like that all over the world. We even the Pranic people, the Breatharians that have agreed to participate to that group, they share their own experiences. We have quite a rich body of knowledge now in terms of articles and documents and videos that are the scientific part of this journey. And we have a team that's backing us up with a lot of knowledge, which didn't exist 10 years ago when we started. So I believe that's very valuable, and more doctors and scientists are joining. We also wrote to Joe Dispenza. I've spoken personally with Greg Braden. I've spoken with Joe Dispenza, and they are interested in they will, I'm sure they will collaborate soon on this. It's a groundbreaking time for humanity, and all the doom and gloom that we might think there is just a thing to fool our sight on the beauty and unimaginable blessings that are coming on. Above this blanket of whatever it feels heavy, there's unimaginable bliss and blessings for the humans that are ready to shift and stay in a higher state of consciousness. So that's a final message that I feel to bring. There is not only there is hope, there's like loads of blessings and grace that are accessible to us once we heighten our frequency. So don't do this journey for just fine-tuning your body to not eat. Do this journey to access that thing. That's the carrot at the end of the stick. At least for me. So that's where I'm aiming at, and have tuned into, and I'm enjoying playing with that field. And we're just being tested for a bit, but it will all unfold into a blissful state soon. Okay, let's go into bliss then. I would say that let's sit ourselves as comfortable as we can. You can even lie down. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to be in front of your computer. It's actually better if you're not. And let your body fully relax, like drop into relaxation fully, as if you don't even hold it together anymore. You can let it discombobulate. And let's start to breathe consciously. And feel that there's a light column all the way around us, like a cylinder of light from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. We start breathing this column of light. And feel, imagine, or sense that all the pores of our bodies are opening up to receive this light, not only through the breath, but through all our body. Bringing deep breath in with more light into our structure and our cells. And with the exhale, exhaling out all the worries, tensions, concerns, everything that doesn't serve us, everything that's not beneficial for us. This light column or light cylinder is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform all that is not for our highest good. Another deep breath. Let your body relax, even in the areas that are resisting relaxation. So feel your body getting lighter. Feel the soles of your feet relaxing and the pores on them opening up. Feel the ankles and calves and knees relaxing and opening up for more energy to come in. The thighs and hips are relaxing and opening up, and breathing this light into your bodies. The abdomen and lower back. And then the upper back and chest and arms are fully relaxing, getting lighter. And opening for more energy. Then the throat and face and head and the top of the head. All relaxing to the tips of your hairs. Surrounded in this column of light that is pre-programmed in the best, most beneficial energy for each one of you now, flowing into your body. And feel how it is to be in that state, to breathe through all your pores. And feel that you have a connection cable to the center of the universe, getting right on the top of your head, from the heart of the central sun, the center of the universe, to the top of your head. Opening up the top of your head, your crown, and coming into your head, the pituitary and pineal glands in the center of your head. Then coming down through your throat, filling up the thyroid gland and throat chakra. Coming down to your heart chakra and the thymus. We're activating the chakras in the endocrine system with this higher frequency coming down from the heart of the central sun. And coming down into your heart, it fills your heart chakra with more light, so you can see how it's shining brighter with every breath. So now you're focusing in your heart chakra, imagining a light bulb or a light sphere in the center of your chest. That's becoming bigger and bigger with every breath. And you are feeling that with the exhale, you're sending this light, this love into your cells, into your organs, into all your systems of your body, physical systems, all your auric field, and out into the universe. Sending out this love all the way out into the universe. Breathing again, feel your light, love. Raising the frequency of your cells, and your cells tingle in response to this energy coming out of your heart, coming down from the heart of the central sun and mixing with your own. The lower chakras. Let it come into your solar plexus from the heart. Activating the pancreas as endocrine gland. Coming to the sacral chakra and your ovaries or gonads as endocrine glands. And the root chakra with the adrenals. Activating your whole system with these new light codes of this Syrian solar energy coming down now on us. These new light codes of integrity and harmony and love that are coming for us now. We let them flow into the feet as well, and all the way down to the soles of the feet, and then growing into roots all the way down to the center of the earth. So noticing that you have roots from the soles of the feet that are connecting you to the heart of Gaia and connecting you to the center of the earth. And notice the energy in the heart of Gaia, the mama love, the feminine yin, beautiful compassionate energy. in the center of the heart of this planetary spirit that supports us, loves us, tolerates us, and has infinite compassion for our actions. Let that energy flow up into your roots, and check your roots if they're healthy, and if they're not, let more energy nourish them on each foot, left and right. And like a big tree, you're now rooting your roots even deeper and nourish them with this earth energy. And then flow up, let this energy flow up to the soles of the feet and the ankles, and filling your body through the calves and knees and thighs like a golden blanket around your hips and to the base of the spine. This earth mama love energy, yin, beautiful, supporting, rooting energy goes up your spine to the heart, mixing with the cosmic energy of the central sun, going up to the top of your head, filling up your whole body with this beautiful mix of yin and yang, this beautiful balance, dance. And all the way up to the top of your head and all the way around your body, it springs like a fountain around your toroidal system, your auric field, like a bubble of light around you, like a light cocoon, with the biomagnetic field of Gaia or Mother Earth supporting you and shielding you. In such way that it keeps out the Wi-Fi, the radiations, the toxicity in the air, the emanations of others, or emotions of others, or thought patterns and thought forms that are not necessary for us now. We ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. We are now at peace with both masculine and feminine energy, and we are connected from above and below, and we center back into our hearts. In the center of our chest, in the center of our hearts, we're back into our body now, back in the soles of the feet. We check our presence, that we're back into our body in the calves, knees, thighs. The light body is fully back and present into our physical suit, into the hips, into the lower back abdomen. We're present in the upper back, chest, and arms to the fingertips. Your light body suit is fully present in your physical suit, to the neck, throat, head, and to the top of your head. And you're fully present back into the room here and now. And we can do as a final fun, send a ray of light to all the participants in this gathering, connecting heart-heart, divine self to divine self, communicating divine self to divine self, and communing divine self to divine self with each other. Feeling how we are all family, all part of a council of light workers that are around the round table working for the planet as we speak. We can send a ray of love to Gaia, and how we support it energetically with our presence and our actions. And feel how she's sending love back to us. And another ray of light to all the beings of light supporting us, all your guides and spirit guides and light angels and all the beings of the purest light and love that are supporting ourselves and the planet in this gathering and beyond. Send a ray of light and gratitude to them. And we feel circles upon circles upon circles of beings of light and supporting angels and light beings supporting this gathering, supporting the planetary evolution, supporting Gaia and her people. And they send love to us back from their hearts, from their cores, from wherever they are as shape, so that a wave of love washes through this gathering from a higher realm. And we give thanks. to Source, to all beings present here, in body and beyond, and to all the organizers of this conference for being here and putting this all together. And to always be aware and remember that you're part of a family of light, a tribe of light, a higher consciousness gathering, and you can always be guided from there, not necessarily from your lower self or mind. To always connect to that will always keep you on track. So just trust and go on with what you're doing. And this is something that I love to wear because it's the image of the evolved spirit, the complete divine being, the Vitruvian man. I like it at my decoration and on my book and everywhere else because it's a reminder that this is what we are and where we are. I was just watching Greg Braden's conference last night, where it said that when he connected the elements of the DNA, the chemical elements like hydrogen, nitrogen and all, when he connected that to the languages, sacred languages like Hebrew and Sanskrit and all the codes in the DNA say all one thing. So the DNA basically reads with a message. It has a message, and that message is God eternal within the body. So the codes and the elements in our DNA, if you connect them with letters through some scientific method that I'm not going to explain now because I didn't get it all, it reads into God eternal within the body. So this is what we actually are, and it's written in our genes. No further than your core. So just a reminder. So how is everybody feeling? Any particular feedback from this meditation?
Oh, it's awesome.
It is great. Thank you so much.
Happy to hear. Oh, well, we hope to meet in person sometime, even not further than the end of July. We're having a Pranic process together online. And we hope to meet in person also in the Pranic Festival in Romania, August 15 to 18. And I'll just leave you with this message of Greg Braden with the God within the body, so that it stays with us in the next few days. So whenever we feel we're complete, we can end this session, or if you have something to add, I'm just sitting here playing and listening. And by the way, I'm looking for sound workers for the Pranic Festival, whoever's interested in that.
I'm here, love.
I know, I was saying that for you and others. Come. I love you so much. I see you already there doing that thing with the fire. You're playing with some stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen you in the current life, but I know you know how to do it with some fire or things like that. You play like this. It's true, or I'm just having some vision from another life.
It was 10 years ago. How could you see me?
Well,
I was a fire dancer, but yeah.
I know,
years.
you're doing something
Okay.
like this with some things. Yes, I know.
Time travel.
I see people at a very deep level. It's all connected for us. We're all one. I'm happy to see that. I would love to see it in physical, you know. It looks great. So during our sessions, the healing sessions, we're seeing very deep stuff about people and other lifetimes and previous events in their current life and all that stuff. It's possible. They show it to us. They show their abilities and capabilities. So yeah, I'm ready to complete whenever you are. I don't want to keep you much longer because I know you have other speakers, but I'm just playing with my stuff here.
Thank you, everybody. It was great to be here. Thank you, Christiana.
Big hugs.
Thank
Blessings.
you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you on Tuesday,
Bye. Thank
Raki.
you.
Bye. Blessings. Have a nice journey ahead. Write to me if you're interested in the festival. I'll see you there. Bye.